Hey everybody, and welcome to my first ever gardening kind of video. This is definitely not a how-to. This is me showing you some of the things that I'm doing, and if you're interested in seeing more stuff like this, then obviously I can post updates and things like that. But in no way, shape, or form am I going to tell you I know what I'm doing, because I'm learning it just like anybody else would learn it and doing it for the first time. This is my first time doing hydroponics and also the kratky method. So I'm going to show you some of my setup. Let's go. So here I have one of these Jiffy little seed starters, and I got some seeds going in this. This is just herbs. We got some cilantro in there, some dill, some oregano, other things like that. I don't know exactly all of them, but some of them have started to come up. I should have labeled them. I did not, but I did make sure that they're in rows. Put more than one seed in this hole, and some of them are pushing the other ones out, which is kind of funny. We're going to go into a hydroponics cranky method type of thing once they're growing, and that way we can have them indoors near the kitchen, so the wife can use them in cooking all the time. And I did go ahead and purchase one of these T5 grow lights. It was a little overpriced, and there's a lot better methods, but at the time I didn't know. I am learning. But here I have a tote. This is just a regular tote that you would get at Walmart. And we started some basil seeds in this Jiffy thing earlier. And now, less than 2 weeks after we planted the seeds, they are growing out of control. In fact, you can see the root system down here. The nutrients that I'm using is Master Blend. There's a lot of recipes, well, a lot of places to find the recipe. I'll also post in the description what the ratio is per gallon. And then these are just held in here by the little solo cups. The little 1 ounce, well, I guess they're the shot glass solo cups. I don't know. And then I just cut some holes in the bottom, three holes. And then inside is just one of these rock wool starter plugs. And that's how it's been growing. So we got quite a few basils here. The wife absolutely loves basil, so that helps. Alright, so this is my hydroponic setup. Up here is a 300-watt light that I got online, and I think it was like 15 bucks. It wasn't very expensive at all. A lot of grow lights are really expensive, but if you look for a 300-watt daylight fluorescent light, it seems to be working perfectly well. In fact, these love that light. This is another tote from Walmart. Got it probably, I don't know, 12, 15 bucks tops. And these plants here, well, these front 3 ones, so this big boy right here, this one here, and of course this one here, those are ghost pepper plants. We make some really delicious spicy sauerkraut, and we use ghost peppers in them, and they are absolutely wonderful. And this one, we're using the net pots. You can pick these up in any hydroponic store. Okay, there's my roots. And inside there we have nutrients. This is a different nutrient I use for starting my plants. And then once I transplant them outside, I will go ahead and put then I'll go ahead and use the Master Blend. So these are just the clay pellets with the rock wool starter. These plants here, at least the ghost pepper plants, we started them from seed a while ago. They've only been in the nutrient solution for about 3 weeks. So they were really small seedlings just 3 weeks ago, and now they're huge. Over here we got some mason jar cranky method going on for some basil. Same thing as in the tote that I showed you earlier. But I saw somebody doing this in a mason jar, and I have plenty of mason jars laying around, so I figured why not. The 3-inch net cups fit perfectly in a wide mouth mason jar, and the lid's on there, so it's very sturdy. And it's just a 3-inch net cup. with some rock wool and a couple of the clay pebbles. Back here I have a tomato seedling. We thought our tomato seeds died and never came up, but one eventually did come up. So we planted that. That has been in there for less than a week and it has taken off. One more basil, in fact, right there in the middle, one more basil. That will probably be gifted to somebody eventually. One of my ghost pepper plants was already growing in another offshoot. It was like a Y. So I decided to cut that little piece off and put it in some water. See if it'll get some roots, who knows. And back here is the runt of the ghost pepper plants. Took the longest to come up, and so it's a little bit behind, but it's doing pretty good. So the nutrients I'm using in this is the Fox Farms, and I like the Fox Farm because of the fact that it has a recipe for seedlings, so younger plants, and I like that, and it's been working great. I change the nutrients out probably every 2 weeks. So far I've only changed the nutrients out once on this, and that's why I know it's been in there for 3 weeks, because next week I should change the nutrients, but I probably won't because they should be ready to go outside, at least these ghost pepper ones in the front. Now these ghost pepper plants came from seeds that my good friend TJ, or Midwest Middle Class, donated to me about 2 years ago. So they're really old seeds, but they sure did still work. I was a little worried at first, but no, they grew great. In fact, I have some more. Let's go see those. Alright, so this is my second setup. It's another 300 watt bulb. This one, however, is not a daylight one. This is a yellow light fluorescent 300 watt bulb. I prefer the white daytime. I think the plants have been doing better with that than with this one, but it is working. The plants are growing, so obviously it's not horrible. This light also cost probably under $20 in order to get. Now these front three plants are Moruga Trinidad Scorpions hot peppers, probably about twice as hot as the ghost pepper. And these three in back are more ghost peppers. And some of these ghost peppers, and I think these three actually, came from seeds that we got from buying some ghost peppers at our local Sprouts grocery store. I was surprised when we found them there. And once again, I told you, we make some spicy sauerkrauts delicious. Now this is the same nutrients as in the other one. It's the Fox Farm stuff. One thing I didn't tell you about though is that we do use air pumps. These air pumps are $10 at Walmart. We get the black hose from Petco, and then we have some air stones in there to keep the water oxygenated, and that'll help the growth of the plants. So that's the indoor stuff. All this will go outdoors eventually. So let's go out there and see what I've got going on so far. Okay, so outside you can see I have a couple pumps here. We are growing a couple things hydroponically. One is this, I believe it's an Anaheim pepper. And it's just our nutrients, our master blend nutrients, in a net cup, a 5-gallon bucket, and some pebbles with the pump and the air stone that's in there. Here I have a cucumber plant. This cucumber plant was only planted about 3 weeks ago, if that, and it is absolutely huge. Really took off more than I ever thought it would. I'm going to show you the roots on this. As I said, it's only about 3 weeks old. And it's got a massive root ball on there. And that's the same nutrients as I'm using for the peppers. It's the master blend recipe. Over here we have serrano peppers. Of course it was of course it's not making peppers yet, but I want to show you, we got a 6-pack of these at Home Depot, and they started in soil. That's why instead of a net cup here, this is a solo cup with holes cut into it, and it works just like a net cup. But this serrano pepper was in the same 6-pack as this one, and there is a huge difference between the two. Kind of hard to see on camera. But these are in global buckets, and it's a different kind of hydroponic. It's more of a self-watering type planter. But we still do use the Master Blend nutrients when we water it. These are also the Serranos. They've been topped. I topped them, and eventually they'll grow back even bigger and bushier. So that's what's in these 3 global buckets. Lots of videos out there on global buckets. I don't know if I need to make one, but if you're interested, leave a comment. Maybe I will. This is another Serrano. This one also came in the 6-pack, and it's just in regular dirt. Not nearly as big as its other one over there, but not bad. Of course, there we got some basil, and then here we have our herbs in just a planter, and they're doing okay, but I think they're going to do a lot better once we get them in hydroponics. Now you remember that cucumber in the hydroponics, how big it was. This one was the same size when we put it in this global bucket. And since we started it hydroponically and then put it into a global bucket, I don't think it liked the change, and it's having some issues. Of course, we have another one right here that's having some issues, the same kind of issues. And it looks like I got some chemical burn from the nutrients on this leaf, so I'm going to probably take that leaf off. Now, the 2 plants that are doing the best in these global buckets is this tomato plant I picked up at Walmart, and I transplanted it into the global bucket. And at first it was not happy. The leaves were wilted a little bit and curled, but it has taken off since then and is loving it. And the first plant that we ever bought, I think we got this at Home Depot, is a jalapeno plant. And this thing is great. It already had jalapenos on it, and it didn't grow very much because it had peppers on it, so all its energy was going into making the peppers. But we picked those off, and we trimmed off a few dead leaves or damaged leaves, and all these lighter green leaves that are on it now are all new growth. So it's definitely getting bigger and bushier. So that's my setup. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's been a while, but just thought I'd share this with you. It's kind of like the newest hobby that I've got going on. It's not the cheapest, you know, buying all these things is kind of expensive for me anyway, but the great thing is most of this stuff I can reuse year after year after year, and it's a fun hobby. It's fun to grow your own food, and I can't wait. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on it. If you have anything to share, like maybe you're a better gardener than I am and you got some tips and tricks, hey, leave them in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you guys next time, and if you want to see updates on the plants and how big they get, let me know, and I will definitely try to get more videos up, probably once a month on this subject. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Peace.